Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to part 2 of my cabinet build series. Think you've seen enough joints? You ain't seen nothing yet. Join me. Boom! This thing reads like stereo instructions. Alright, now I need to cut the backs for my upper cabinetry, and they are going to measure around 30 inches wide by 47 or 46 inches tall. Now, in order to maximize this plywood, if I cut it the way most people would, with the grain running up and down, and I rip it to 30 inches wide, I can only get 2 backs out of this at 47 inches tall because half the sheet of plywood is 48 inches. So that's 1 and 2. And no waste left over for me to really play with. However, if I cut 30 inches off, 30 inches off, and 30 inches off, and then rip off the remainder inch on either side to make it nice and square, then I will have 3 backs from 1 sheet of plywood. I really need 4, but I don't want to waste a whole bunch of plywood making backs the way they are typically made. Now the back is going to be cut with an offset tongue and groove, much like this is. This is the groove that will be accepted by the tongue of the back. Now I've set this in place to where it is even with this one because it's also going to be let into the top and also the same thing at the very bottom. What I need to account for now is that particular dado right there. Now the big thing is I am not making a dado for the shelf in the back. I am actually making a groove for another offset tongue because the very back of this shelf that fits in this dado has an offset tongue. So I've got to have a groove to match. So I'm just laying this out and then making my mark where that needs to be, setting my fence, and then running the blade through. Now I'm just going to add the chipper blade in between the 2 outer blades so I can do the offset tongue. Alright, dry fit turned out just perfect. The back is let into the sides as well as the shelf. So no matter what kind of weight I put into this on the bottom, since it's let into the back, it won't ever sag. And since it's let into the sides, no matter how heavy it is, it won't separate over the course of time. These things are over-engineered, but they're built to last for a long, long time. So I'm very pleased with how they look. Now, I gotta take care of the adjustable shelving. Now I'm going to use a new jig that I've got in the shop for this adjustable shelf pin, and I'm going to put them on all the sides of the upper cabinetry. Now Rockler was nice enough to send this to me so I could get this job done in a hurry. It just clamps around the sides, and I'm going to use an indexing piece in this dado and just slide it down until it touches. And I'm going to start down at these bottom holes and then probably stop around this line right here. Now I've already done a dry fit of these pieces, so I know they're going to fit good. So we're actually going to start with one of the sides. Now I'm going to pre-drill just a few holes right through the middle of this dado. This will allow me to locate the screws much more easily to stiffen everything up. Now, not only did I put screws in the dado for the shelf down here, but I'm also pre-drilling and putting in screws where all the pieces meet together. Even though they're tongue and groove joinery and have glue, the screws will add extra support to where these will never come apart. Now, the bottom cabinets go together just a little bit differently. The bottom, as you can see, is set in a dado. The backs are also in a offset tongue and groove, as well as the top. However, it's not a solid top or a solid back. They are actually just mounting cleats that are led into one another that are also led into the side of the cabinet. They are led into the bottom as well, and this method will give me plenty of stability, but also keep them lightweight. Now I've got one of the backs in here as a placeholder just so I can line up this groove with the bottom that will go in here because it's all led into one another, and it will help me line it up nice and straight. All right, now all I've done there is pre-drill a couple of holes that will have a running stretcher here in the middle so I can mount it to the wall. Now the back top pieces are a little different. If you notice, there is a dado and a groove that meet at the very back corner. Now I've got a groove running down the length of this board, which is going to be the back, and it will go in just like this. And on this piece, I actually have a tongue right here and a tongue right here that goes down the length of the board. That tongue goes in the dado right there and then slides up into the back. Like that. And the top front just goes on with a simple tongue and groove right at the very edge, flush with the front. All right, now comes the tricky part. Feeding all of that onto this one piece. Success. And that's all there is to it, to the lower cabinet. But guys, I hope you enjoyed this part 2 episode. Like I said, it's part 2. If you missed part 1, go back to my previous episode, check it out. You'll get to see how the construction was actually made. So do me a favor, leave me some comments down below. Let me know how you are enjoying the build process. As you can tell, I'm probably going to have a really nice backdrop whenever this is all said and done. I'm going to have tons of storage with adjustable shelving, drawer space, toe kick storage. It's all going to be there, and I am super excited and super stoked with the progress I've made so far. Like I said, leave me some comments, and I will see you next week. Thanks for joining me. Be safe in your shops. Boom!